Hi, we're wrapping up a cruise here on the Harmony of the Seas, and it's time to review it. We wanted to share our honest thoughts with you about what we think about the various aspects of the Harmony of the Seas. So let's get to it. Welcome, I'm Sean Whent. I'm your host here at the Whent There Cruising Channel. And this is my daughter, Cameron.
Hi, guys.
Cameron does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work here at the Whent There Cruising Channel. But this week, we are together on the Harmony of the Seas, and we wanted to share our review with you, but we wanted to do it two different perspectives. So I'll give you my thoughts as kind of an older person, and Cameron can share with you her thoughts as maybe a younger person, right? So what different generations may think about the various aspects of this cruise. So let's start. The first thing, the topic that we cover is embarkation. So we embarked this 6-night cruise in Galveston, and really I thought it was a seamless process. So obviously it's a large cruise ship, lots of people, but the process was very, very quick. We got there right about a little early, I guess, for our scheduled time, but within about 15 minutes, we walked right through, dropped the bags off very quickly, and walked right up to the check-in person, so we didn't have to wait any line there at all. They're there through security, minor, a couple minutes, but from the time of walking into the building to boarding the ship was probably no more than about 10-15 minutes. So really pretty quick process across the board. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Your thoughts?
I'd also give it a 10 out of 10. It was really quick. Everybody was super friendly, and yeah, just went really well. So
Great.
10 out of 10.
Perfect. So the first onboard topic to talk about would be the cabin. So we have a boardwalk view balcony. Now I will admit I'm accustomed to having a ocean facing balcony, but I wanted to try something different on this cruise. I'd never been on an Oasis class ship before, and never had the opportunity for an inward facing balcony. I picked boardwalk because I figured you could at least look out the back and still see some water. So I will tell you, I'm okay with the room. So there's some good things about it, right? I mean, obviously it is neat to be able to look down on the boardwalk and see the people and look out the back and see the wake. And you can even catch a bit of the aqua theater from there. So that's good. I thought the bathroom in this room was actually pretty good. Shower with a shower door, roomy enough that you can move in there. Not too bad compared to other cruise ship bathrooms. Pretty good. I found the bed here mediocre. It's not a bad bed, and I will say the pillows are actually decent, but it's not anything to write home about. Seems to be plenty of storage, I thought, here in the room, certainly compared to other cruise cabins. So overall, on the room, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I would give the room probably a 6 or 7 out of 10 as well. I wish we could be looking out at the ocean. Maybe that's just personal preference, but at least we could see out of the back, and sometimes we could see the shows at night, which was cool. I do love the showers as well. I didn't feel like I was going to fall out with just like a curtain, so that was really nice. Lots of storage. Yeah, so the bed was okay.
The one other thing I would say for the room, they could have more power outlets, particularly over by the bed. That would be a good thing.
Definitely.
But I'll go 7 out of 10 on the room.
Yeah, same.
So the next category on board would be service. And I have to say, I've been extremely impressed with the service. Our room steward, Heather, she's been phenomenal, very personable. In the main dining room, we've had excellent service. Prince, really great waiter. I mean, really just very personable, very friendly, very knowledgeable. Really everywhere on board. And the pace of dinner has been quick, so, to my liking. So I found that's good. Everybody I've encountered really in bars or checking out towels, or just everybody on board, really very, very friendly. So service on board, really wonderful. Almost perfect. The only knock I would say is there seems to be very lax enforcement of the rules regarding where they allow children on board. So the solarium up at the front of the ship on deck 15 is adults only. You literally have to go through doors with signs out that say 18 plus, but apparently that's just a suggestion because it's not unusual at all to see children in those areas. Even for some of the shows that are supposed to be 18 plus, there's not really any enforcement of that either. So I think that I would like to see better service when it comes to enforcing some of those rules. But the level of personable service has just been phenomenal. I'm going to go 9 out of 10 on the service.
I would give it a 10 out of 10. I've not had one bad experience yet. Everybody has been super helpful and they just want to see you enjoying yourself. So I've had great experiences.
Yeah, great. The next onboard category we're going to cover is the dining. And I have to say, I've been really impressed with the dining here on the Harmony of the Seas. So starting at the lowest level, the snack food, like the hot dogs on the deck, really good. The pizza, Sorrento's pizza down in the Royal Promenade is good pizza. At the buffet, good food. I've largely eaten at the Solarium Bistro, which is really kind of an extension of the main buffet. Very similar food, but that was good. And our main dining has been very good food every night. And the waiters have been specific to ask, do you like everything? They're very willing to get you something different if you don't like it. And then we have done some specialty dining here on board. Went to Chops Grill, and later we're going to Izumi tonight. But that Chops Grill dinner was just phenomenal. So I have to say the dining really has been very, very, very good. I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
I'd probably give it the same. I've had very good food on this ship. I've not had one thing I didn't like yet, and they're really willing to help if we don't like anything, but we have liked everything we've eaten. So I've had a lot of lobster. It's been really good. And something I also want to say is I love that they offer Starbucks coffee. As a coffee drinker, it's been great. So yeah, I would give it 10 out of 10.
Okay, so the next category would be the entertainment and activities. And here, I guess I'd be a little bit disappointed. So starting with like the stage shows. I've actually been impressed with the stage shows. We've seen the ice show, we've seen the aqua theater show, we've seen the main theater play, and all of them have incredible theaters, right? The effects are amazing, really very, very well done. Singing's been wonderful, just excellent. Plot-wise, odd. I'm not sure I don't think there's any plot to the Aqua Theater thing. The plot that went with the ice show, 1887, while it was neat, I don't even begin to understand it. And then we saw the Columbus musical, which is about Columbus's third cousin, twice removed, Marvin. And that's the most I got out of the story. So while the singing was good and the music was good, they're very weird. Going down from there, the lounge entertainment actually I think has been good. We've seen a couple different groups playing in Central Park. We saw a piano singer last night doing Billy Joel songs in the Schooner's Bar. Really, excellent. So that was good. But when you get down to the lower levels, the trivias and the game shows are just really not good. I mean, there was one the other night, and it was the higher or lower. When you read the description in the app, it talks about grocery prices or things like that. So I thought that was going to be how much is a gallon of milk? It's $4. Is it higher or lower than that? What it actually was a contestant picks a card out of a 52 card deck, and the crew member picks a card, and you have to guess if your card is higher or lower. Why would a room full of people want to sit around watching that? It was just ridiculous. And several of the game shows were extremely simple premises like that. Really not very entertaining at all. When you get down to the trivias are fine, but they're generally packed. And they do some of them in the bar where they don't have a screen. And so they just read it off. There's no PowerPoint to look at on the screen so you can see what the questions are. And so I think that's missing something. We went to a towel thing this morning, a towel folding demonstration, which I thought was going to be a towel folding class where you could interact with them and actually make elephants and things. But in actuality, you got to just watch the cruise people do it, and then they would sell you a book with instructions on how to actually do it. So, while there's some really neat things we've seen, I would say not that great. Now, activity-wise, other things you can do, obviously rock climbing wall and surf simulator, lots of options there, which are good. But the entertainment staff-driven things, I just have not been super impressed with. I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
I second everything he said. I pretty much have the same opinion. I love what they offer and the activities on ship for everybody, but the entertainment, as far as the trivia and game shows, which I usually enjoy on other ships, has just not been it. So yeah.
Okay. The next category would be ship design. So this is my first time, it's both of our first time on an Oasis class ship, And I think there's some pros and cons to it. I mean, it's certainly neat that there's all those different things you can do. You can go ice skating on a ship. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. Rock climbing, it's neat that they have all those things. But also, what I don't like is it's difficult to even tell that you're on a ship in a lot of cases. So for most of the venues on board, there's no view of the water at all. And it just doesn't really feel like you're on a ship. So certain things about it I liked. I'm doing a specific video for that. They'll do a hits and misses of the Harmony itself, and I'll put a link to that down below once it's completed. But overall, I'm not entirely thrilled with this ship. One being, it's just a lot of people on board. So I'm gonna go 6 out of 10 on the ship.
I would probably give it a 5 out of 10 or a 6. It's just, I feel it doesn't flow that well, and I don't feel like I'm on a cruise at all in a lot of the areas. There's way too many people for the space. It being a big ship, I guess the social areas where people are, they're just way too crowded. It doesn't flow that well. So yeah, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10.
The next category to talk about on board would be the Wi-Fi and tech. So we do have the Zoom and Stream package, so theoretically that should be their higher end Wi-Fi, allowing for streaming, and it works intermittently. I mean, it's not atrocious Wi-Fi, but it's not great either, and I wouldn't want to try and download any large files or, God forbid, upload any large files. So it's not great. Additionally, I would say the tech is somewhat limited. They do obviously still use cruise cards on here. You can get a band, a wearable band for $15, but even that doesn't allow you to get on and off the ship. So it's of somewhat limited use, and there's no easy way on board to find where your cruise mates are, where your people in your party are on board. You have to, well, I guess, call or text them because you can't do that in the app. So the app has some limitations that other cruise lines have that are better. So it's pretty good overall, but I think it has room for improvement. I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
I would also give it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, depending on certain areas. Like my dad was saying, it's very spotty. It works in some areas, and then some it does not. And sometimes that spot doesn't work. So it's been really like a hit or miss on the Wi-Fi aspect. So yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Another thing I would have loved to see also, like other ships, was the tracking in the app, wearing that wristband. So that would have been nice. The card kind of gets in the way, and I also left it somewhere on accident, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you did get it back, so
I did get it back,
more good service.
Yeah.
The next category would be the ports and excursions. So this was a Western Caribbean trip. We had 3 stops. So we did Cozumel, Roatan, Honduras, and Costa Maya, Mexico. We did excursions in 2 of the ports. In Cozumel, we did a dolphin swim encounter, and in Roatan, we did a snorkeling and beach adventure. And so those ports are okay. I mean, if they're not the most exciting Caribbean ports to go to, I would say. And beach-wise, I really don't know that the beaches in those places are as good as they are in some of the islands you get out in the eastern or particularly southern Caribbean. So, they're decent. Little shopping areas right by the port itself. But it's the same kind of stuff that you see really in all those ports. So nothing earth-shattering. We were happy with both of the excursions that we did, or at least I was happy with both of the excursions that we did. So I'll go 6 out of 10 on the ports and excursions.
I will give it a 5 out of 10. I love the excursions we did, the dolphin experience, and then especially the snorkeling experience. We got to see a shipwreck. And that was also my first official time snorkeling, so I loved it. I loved that aspect of it. But the ports were really nothing special. And as a beach person, it was okay. It wasn't like the best beach I've ever been to.
Probably not even in the top 10 beaches you've ever been to.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, but yeah. What we are not talking about in this video would be the spa, and that way I've walked through there and to look at it, but we have not actually used it. We didn't get massages or any of the other features that they have in the spa, so it would be unfair to critique it. And what we're also not talking about is disembarkation, because this is the last day of our cruise. We are actually getting off tomorrow, but it was very seamless getting on. I'm assuming it'll probably be very similar getting off. So we are not evaluating those in this video. But what I want to give you, just give me your overall thoughts from somebody your age. What do you think they would enjoy this cruise or not?
As somebody in my 20s, I definitely feel this is a trip for people in your 20s, 30s, or even if you have young kids. As somebody who's also been on other cruise lines, it is for a little bit of the older scene, which I don't mind. But if I was to go with a group of friends, this would definitely be a good choice with all the things that they offer, like the rock climbing, zip line. I know they have nightclubs here as well. So I just feel like there's a lot of stuff for younger people. This is definitely something I would choose over another cruise line as somebody my age.
Okay. And I would say that I enjoyed this week. I'm a Princess person. I have status on Princess. That's my preferred cruise line. But I did not have a bad experience at all this week. It's been neat. And like I said, the service and the food has actually probably been better than I expected. So I would say Royal Caribbean is a good choice. It probably would not be my first choice because I would say one thing, there are a lot of kids. Maybe not as many kids as you would see on Disney, but there are a lot of children on board. And so if that is a turnoff for you, then Royal Caribbean might not be your best choice.
Something else I would like to add also, as somebody younger in my 20s, they do have a Jellycat store here, which has been really awesome. I didn't expect to see that, so I know a lot of girls my age would like to see that on maybe other cruise lines, or that's maybe the pro of this one. The Starbucks coffee has been awesome. The food has been great, so definitely a good choice for younger and older, I would say.
I have no idea what Jellycats are. I'll just say that. Overall, really good cruise here on the Harmony of the Seas. Hope you found the video useful. If you did, please like the video. And if you like cruise content or you want to see more content coming up from the Harmony of the Seas, please subscribe. We do want to be your source for cruise content. And until we see you next time, we do wish you smooth sailing. Take care.